Be honest. How many Mondays have you promised yourself, this time I'm serious, and then a week later, you're right back in the same place? Welcome to Sick of Starting Over. Hi, I'm Coach Monica, and if you're tired of restarting and blaming yourself, you're not lazy, and you're certainly not alone. This is real talk and real coaching for real life after 40. So, let's get into today's episode. Sick of starting over after 40, and it's not laziness. If you keep starting over, I'm going to say something that might sting, but it'll set you free. You don't have a motivation problem. You have a structure problem. And here's the lie that keeps the cycle alive. If I can't do it perfectly, I may as well not do it at all. Well, today we're breaking that lie and fixing the structure so you stop disappearing and start building consistency that actually sticks after 40. Here's where most people get it wrong. They keep chasing motivation instead of building something that holds them up when motivation disappears. In the next few minutes, I'm going to do 3 things. First, explain why starting over happens so much after 40. Secondly, remove the shame because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not laziness. And 3, give you one practical thing you can use today to stop the cycle. You know, after 40, your life load is heavier than ever. Stress really shows up different. Sleep can be so inconsistent for various amount of reasons. Recovery isn't what it used to be. You may have aches that change how you move in the gym or just in life. Your schedule is packed. Work, family, responsibilities, all of those things. So why do we keep trying to use a 20-year-old fitness approach like high intensity, those high intensity gym spots? Perfect weeks. I can't miss a day, or I've messed up. Or strict plans, like I will only eat 1,000 calories because that's going to help me lose weight. All of these things set you up to fall off. So here's the cycle. You get inspired. You go hard. You try to be perfect. Then life happens. You miss a day. And instead of adjusting, you judge yourself. That judgment turns into guilt, and then guilt turns into quitting. Then you wait until you feel motivated again, and you restart. That's the cycle. Not because you don't care, because your plan has no backup for real life. I see 5 main reasons people fall off after 40. It's all or nothing thinking. If that's not perfect, you feel like it's pointless. Then there's time scarcity. The plan doesn't fit your actual week. We have stress and sleep debt. Low energy kills follow through. Pain or fear of pain. You'd rather do nothing that makes it worse. And lastly, no system. You're relying on motivation instead of structure. So here's the first shift that changes everything, in my opinion. We've got to stop building perfect week plans and start building a real life plan. What is a real life plan, Coach? A real life plan has minimums. It has a busy week version. It has a reset rule for when you miss. Because, ladies and gentlemen, missing once is normal. We all do. So the goal is not to never miss. The goal is to never disappear. Here's your first rule. Don't miss 2 days in a row. If you miss a workout, your next move is a minimum move. Walking, doing some mobility work, a short session. Something that keeps the identity alive. Because the truth is, motivation won't always get you out of bed, but a simple system will. So next, I'm going to show you how to set a personal standard and minimums so you stop restarting. All right, let's talk about motivation for a second. Motivation is real. It is, but it's unreliable. It shows up when life is calm, when you've slept well, when you feel good, when the week is light. But after 40, life isn't always calm, right? You might wake up stiff. You might wake up stressed. You may have had a terrible week at work. You may wake up behind. So if your plan depends on motivation, you'll keep falling off, not because you're weak, but because your plan is built on a feeling. So the goal is not, how do I feel motivated every day? The goal should be, how do I follow through even when my motivation is low? And that comes down to two things: personal standards and minimums. Okay, so brace yourself for this one. But when people hear the word discipline, they think punishment. And that's not what that means. It means self-leadership. Discipline is keeping a small promise to yourself. And that ultimately is what a personal standard is. Goals are what you want later. Standards are what you do now. Standards are non-negotiables. These are things that you do today because they must be done. A goal might be to lose 20 pounds. A standard might be, I train 3 days a week in some form. Non-negotiable. A goal might be, I just want to get stronger. I want a bigger booty. I want to work on my arms, or a bigger butt. But a standard might be, I don't miss 2 days in a row. Period. So standards are very powerful because they remove the daily negotiation, the debate that you might have with yourself. You wake up, I'm not motivated today, so I won't go to the gym. No, I have a standard and I must uphold that. And you have some integrity about that standard. It's not something you're going to debate with yourself about. You've made a decision from the start that this is what you're going to do. So here are a few simple standards that work in real life after 40. I move my body at least 4 days a week in some form. That could be walking, that could be strength training, that could be Pilates, that could be yoga. I don't miss 2 days in a row. Non-negotiable. I hit protein with my breakfast every day. I'm not grabbing a coffee and running out of the house, but I'm actually having a very sensible, protein-focused breakfast. I walk 20 minutes on my non-training days. I want to keep my movement going even when I'm not at the gym. I protect my sleep window as best I can. Now, I'm not telling you to choose like 10 standards. You should choose few. A good 3 is a great starting point. A training standard, a nutritional standard, and a recovery standard or movement. And they should be so simple that you can keep them on your busiest weeks. So right now, if you can, just pause and think about, what are your 3 standards? Now, let's talk minimums. This is the secret weapon for people who keep starting over. See, most people fall short because their own plan only works on a perfect week. But real life has busy weeks, travel weeks, low energy weeks, weeks when our needs act up, and our needs act up quite often and unpredictably. Weeks when work explodes, late meetings, tasks given to you at the last minute. Weeks when you're just not operating at 100%. If your plan has no version for those weeks, you go to 0. And 0 creates the restart cycle. So how do we solve that? Well, we build 3 versions of your week. Plan A is your ideal week. For example, this is a week when you can get in 4 workouts. You're hitting your steps. You are hitting protein every meal. Plan B is your busy week. This is when you can only do 3 shorter workouts, steps. You're not hitting the step goal that you have, but you're moving. And you're getting simple meals in. You're not skipping meals. And plan C is your chaos week. That's when life hits hard. So this might be a week where you only can get in 2 shorter sessions, 20-minute walks, maybe a few times a week, and protein at breakfast. But you're getting some protein in. So plan C isn't failure. Plan C is strategy. Plan C is how consistent people stay consistent. And the goal is simple. No matter what plan you're on, you don't go to 0. And the reason this works is because minimums protect your why. You stayed consistent, you didn't disappear, and that changes everything. Because once you stop going to 0, you stop starting over. So ask yourself, based on your current lifestyle, what is your plan A, B, and C? Let's circle back to motivation. Here's what separates people who stay consistent from people who keep restarting. They don't wait to feel ready. On our low motivation mornings, I want you to do one thing. Start anyway. Step 1, get up and get dressed. No debate. Step 2, give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes of movement, whether that's just walking in place, a mobility stretching flow. Heck, walk to the end of the street. Or better still, jump in your car and drive to the gym. Step 3, if you can go past 2 minutes, great, keep going. If you don't, stop there, because this still counts as a win. Because look, the real win isn't crushing workouts. The real win is proving to yourself, hey, I followed through. And that's how you stop starting over. Because your body doesn't need hype. Your body needs to just get started. Let's go deeper on the reset rule, because see, this is where most people lose momentum. As I mentioned before, don't miss 2 days in a row. Day 1 is a miss. Day 2 becomes a message. Your brain starts believing, I'm off track again. And that's when the restart cycle kicks in. So here's the fix. If you miss, your next day is an automatic plan C. not because you failed, because you're protecting the pattern. A 20-minute walk, stretching, a workout class with a friend. Any of these or similar is a win. Anything that says, I don't disappear. I didn't disappear. Because the goal isn't about being perfect. The goal is maintaining the pattern of consistency. Missing once, that's normal. Disappearing is optional. And we're building a plan that makes disappearing harder. All right, here's what I want you to embrace. Number 1, if you've been starting over after 40, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means your life got heavier and your plan didn't adjust. Number 2, stop trying to run your fitness like it's a perfect week. Build it for real life. That's why we use plan A, B, and C, so that you always know what to do even when your week doesn't cooperate. Number 3, on the days you don't feel like it, don't wait. Start anyway. Give yourself 2 minutes. That's the gateway. And then decide what kind of day it's going to be. And my favorite rule, don't miss 2 days in a row. Missing once is normal. But that second miss is where people disappear. We're not disappearing anymore, right? If this episode helped you, I want you to do one simple thing today. Pick your plan C. Write it down. Make it so easy you can't talk yourself out of it. And if you want a quick way to figure out what's really tripping you up the most, the Sick of Starting Over scorecard is in the show notes. No pressure. Just use it as a tool to help you make some smart decisions. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode where we're going to go deeper into why motivation fails and how to build follow-through even on your worst week, because motivation isn't the plan. Bye. If this episode hit home, take the Sick of Starting Over scorecard in the show notes. You'll find your consistency type and get the next best steps. And if you want the full system, the course Consistency Made Simple is coming soon.